Have you ever taken leftovers from the fridge and warmed them up in the microwave? What if I told you that some of those reheated foods could be silently harming your body, increasing your risk of cancer and affecting your brain? Each year, about 600 million people fall ill from unsafe food, nearly 1 in 10 people worldwide, with around 420,000 deaths linked to food poisoning. In this video, we'll reveal 5 common foods that doctors and nutritionists warn should never be reheated, as they can become toxic. You might be shocked to learn that many of these are foods we consider healthy, but science shows that certain chemical changes during reheating can create harmful compounds, linked in studies to serious long-term risks like cancer, digestive issues, and even neurodegenerative conditions such as dementia. If you've ever used the microwave to reheat lunch or save dinner for the next day, this video may be more important than you realize. We're not here to frighten you, but to help you make informed choices to protect your health and bring you peace of mind. Avoiding a few risky kitchen habits could significantly improve how you feel today. Stay with us until the end to learn not only which 5 foods to avoid reheating, but also why, based on real medical science, not myths or rumors. With this knowledge, you'll be better prepared to keep yourself and your loved ones safer every day. Let's get started. Number 1. Reheating spinach can release harmful nitrates. Spinach is one of the most common foods people reheat without a second thought. It's nutrient-packed, easy to cook, and found in everything from omelets to soups and casseroles. But here's the surprising truth. Reheating spinach, especially in the microwave or on high heat, can turn it into something potentially harmful. Spinach naturally contains high levels of nitrates, which are harmless and even beneficial on their own, supporting healthy blood flow and helping lower blood pressure. However, when you reheat spinach, particularly after it's been stored for a while, those nitrates can break down into nitrites, which may then convert into nitrosamines. Multiple studies have linked nitrosamines to an increased risk of cancer. This chemical reaction happens silently and invisibly, but its long-term effects can be serious. This is especially worrisome for older adults. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to toxins, so what may have had little impact in our 30s or 40s can now affect our cells more significantly, particularly those involved in brain function or tissue repair. The risk isn't just theoretical. Nitrosamines are known carcinogens, linked not only to gastrointestinal cancers, but also to neurological damage in lab studies. For instance, imagine you made a big pot of vegetable soup on Sunday night, adding plenty of spinach to make it healthier. On Monday, you reheat a bowl for lunch. It seems harmless, right? But that reheated spinach, full of healthy nitrates the night before, may now contain altered compounds that your body isn't meant to handle repeatedly. Over months and years, this habit can quietly build up in your system, impacting your health in ways you might not notice immediately. It's not about fear, it's about being informed. Understanding how everyday kitchen habits affect your long-term health gives you more control over your well-being. So if spinach is on the menu, eat it fresh or cold. Avoid reheating it, especially more than once. Your body, brain, and future self will thank you for this small change. These silent risks are often ignored, not because they're unimportant, but because their effects aren't immediate. As we age, we learn it's not just about what we eat, but how we prepare and handle our food. Reheating spinach may seem minor, but over time, it can quietly harm your health in ways you never expect. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any video. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 2, reheated potatoes can quietly disrupt your health. Another everyday favorite that many people regularly reheat without a second thought is the humble potato. Whether it's mashed, roasted, baked, or turned into a stew, potatoes are comfort food at its finest. But here's what most people don't know. When you cook potatoes, cool them down, and then reheat them, something inside them begins to change. And that change isn't always for the better. When potatoes are first cooked, their starches become soft and digestible. But as they cool, those starches begin to reorganize and harden into something called resistant starch. Now, resistant starch isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, in its natural state, it can actually help with digestion and blood sugar regulation, but the problem starts when those cooled potatoes are reheated. especially in the microwave or on high heat. During reheating, especially if it's uneven, certain bacteria like Clostridium botulinum can thrive in the oxygen-poor, starchy environment of stored potatoes. This is particularly dangerous if the potatoes were wrapped in foil and left to cool slowly, which creates an even more ideal condition for harmful bacteria to multiply. And while we might not always see the bacteria or smell anything unusual, that doesn't mean they aren't there. Once ingested, these bacteria can cause serious digestive issues and even contribute to neurotoxin exposure in extreme cases. What's more concerning is how this affects your overall health as you age. Your digestive system becomes more sensitive, your immune system isn't quite as quick to respond, and the brain, which is already vulnerable to inflammation, can suffer when harmful bacteria disrupt the balance of your gut. Medical research increasingly points to the strong connection between gut health and cognitive function. In fact, long-term inflammation in the gut has been linked to higher risk for conditions like Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. This doesn't mean you have to give up potatoes forever. Far from it. But it does mean being smart about how you handle them. Serve them freshly cooked when possible, and if you must, save leftovers, store them in airtight containers, not in foil, and reheat them thoroughly and evenly, preferably on the stove where you can control the temperature. Avoid reheating them more than once, and when in doubt, it's safer to toss them than take a risk. Your health is too valuable to leave up to chance, especially when it comes to foods that we tend to overlook. Potatoes might seem harmless, and in their fresh form, they are. But the way we handle leftovers matters more than we think. And for older adults who are already working hard to protect their memory, energy, and long-term health, it's worth taking a closer look at how something so simple can have such a large impact. Number 3, reheated eggs may release harmful compounds. Eggs are one of the most versatile and beloved foods in the American kitchen. Scrambled, hard-boiled, sunny-side up, they're quick, affordable, and packed with protein. But if you've ever reheated eggs from a previous meal, thinking you were making a smart, healthy choice, it might be time to reconsider. Because reheating eggs, especially in the microwave or at high temperatures, can quietly turn a nutritious meal into something that might harm your body more than help it. Here's why. When eggs are first cooked, their proteins go through a natural process called denaturation. This simply means the proteins unfold and realign into a new structure, something your body can easily digest. But when those already cooked proteins are exposed to heat a second time, especially uneven or intense heat, their structure changes again, and this time the result isn't so friendly. Reheating cooked eggs can lead to the breakdown of sulfur compounds and the formation of oxidized cholesterol, both of which have been linked in medical studies to increased inflammation, and over time, a higher risk of cardiovascular issues. And when you consider how inflammation is a known contributor to cognitive decline, memory problems, and even dementia, the simple habit of warming up yesterday's eggs starts to look a little different. Let's say you hard-boil a few eggs on Sunday to have ready for a quick breakfast throughout the week. On Tuesday, you microwave one for 30 seconds to warm it up before eating. On the surface, it seems harmless, but inside that egg is undergoing chemical changes. The proteins are becoming tougher, the cholesterol is oxidizing, and the taste might even take on a rubbery or sulfur-like quality. And while the texture may tip you off that something's changed, the more concerning part is what's happening at the microscopic level, beyond what you can see, smell, or taste. Older adults are especially vulnerable to the effects of these changes. As we age, our bodies process fat differently. Our arteries may not be as flexible, and our brains become more sensitive to chronic inflammation. This means that small dietary decisions, like repeatedly eating reheated eggs, can quietly affect our health in larger ways over time. It's not about panic, it's about prevention. And the earlier you're aware of it, the easier it is to avoid the risk. Now, does this mean you have to give up eggs altogether? Absolutely not. Eggs are still one of the most nutrient-rich, brain-supporting foods you can eat when they're fresh. The key is to enjoy them shortly after cooking and avoid storing and reheating them whenever possible. If you do batch cook eggs, try eating them cold or adding them to salads without warming them up again. And if they've been sitting in the fridge too long or seem questionable, it's better to play it safe. The little choices we make, What we reheat, how we store food, and when we decide to just eat it cold can add up to big differences over time, especially when it comes to foods like eggs, where the risks aren't obvious, but the consequences can build. You deserve to feel your best, think clearly, and move through your day with ease. And sometimes that starts with something as simple as how you handle your breakfast. Therefore, reheating chicken can trigger hidden inflammation. Chicken is often seen as a safe, healthy choice, lean protein, low fat, and easy to prepare. Many of us make it in large batches and store the leftovers for lunch or dinner the next day. But here's what might surprise you. Reheating chicken, especially in the microwave or at high heat, can subtly change the way your body processes it, and over time, that change could quietly contribute to inflammation, digestive distress, and even long-term health concerns. When you first cook chicken, its protein structure transforms in a way that makes it easier for your digestive system to handle. But when you reheat that same chicken, especially unevenly or at too high a temperature, the proteins undergo a second transformation, this time becoming tougher, more rigid, and harder for your body to break down efficiently. And as we age, our digestive systems tend to slow down. This means that foods we once digested with ease can start to cause discomfort, bloating, or sluggishness without us fully realizing why. Beyond digestion, there's another issue that's even more important: inflammation. Medical research has shown that when reheated chicken proteins are broken down in the body, they can release compounds that promote low-grade inflammation. And here's where it gets serious. Inflammation is now understood to be a major contributor, not just to heart disease and joint pain, but also to cognitive decline and neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's and dementia. So while chicken itself is not the problem, how it's handled and reheated can make a very real difference. Picture this: you roast a few chicken breasts on Sunday, keep the leftovers in the fridge, and then pop one into the microwave on Tuesday for a quick lunch. It saves time, it seems efficient. But what you may not see is that the reheated chicken now has a rubbery texture and doesn't quite taste the same. That change in texture reflects deeper changes in the food, changes your body has to work harder to cope with. Over time, this creates stress not just on your digestion, but potentially on your immune and nervous systems as well. This is especially important for older adults who are already trying to manage joint inflammation, blood pressure, or brain fog. When your body is in a constant state of low-level inflammation, everything feels just a little bit harder. Your energy dips, your memory isn't as sharp, and even your mood can feel off. Avoiding something as simple as reheated chicken might not fix everything, but it's one small way to reduce the burden on your body and support your overall well-being. The bottom line is this: how we prepare our food matters, and while it might not seem like much, choosing not to reheat certain proteins like chicken can actually reduce unnecessary stress on your body, stress that builds up slowly over time and chips away at your health in ways that aren't always obvious. When we're younger, we can get away with these small habits, but as we get older, it pays to be more mindful. Your body has worked hard for you all these years. It deserves a little extra care now. Number 5, mushrooms lose their balance when reheated. Mushrooms are often celebrated for their earthy flavor, rich texture, and surprising health benefits. They're packed with antioxidants, fiber, and even immune-boosting compounds. Whether sautéed into an omelet, simmered in a soup, or served as a side dish, they've earned their place on many dinner plates. But what many people don't realize is that mushrooms are among the most sensitive foods when it comes to reheating, and this sensitivity can lead to more than just a change in taste. It can potentially alter your body's internal chemistry in ways you might not expect. Mushrooms are unique. Unlike many vegetables, they're made up of complex proteins and enzymes that break down rapidly after being cooked. When you reheat them, especially more than once, their protein structure can degrade into compounds that your digestive system has trouble processing. This breakdown can result in digestive discomfort, bloating, or heavy, sluggish feeling after eating. And for older adults whose metabolism and enzyme levels have naturally shifted with age, these effects can be more noticeable. But the concern goes even deeper. When mushrooms are improperly stored or reheated at uneven temperatures, such as in the microwave, their proteins and fats can oxidize, creating harmful substances. some of which have been linked to increased oxidative stress in the body. And as you may already know, oxidative stress is one of the driving forces behind cellular damage, chronic inflammation, and age decline, including memory issues and cognitive dysfunction. Let's look at an example. Suppose you cook a hearty mushroom stew for dinner. It's delicious, savory, and comforting. The next day, you reheat a bowl in the microwave and notice it doesn't quite taste the same. Maybe it feels rubbery or the flavor is oddly muted. What you're tasting isn't just yesterday's dinner. It's the byproduct of protein degradation and chemical transformation. The nutrients that were once so beneficial have shifted, and your body now has to work harder to process what's left. Even the texture gives you clues. Freshly cooked mushrooms are tender, juicy, and rich in flavor. Reheated mushrooms often turn chewy, watery, or slimy, none of which are signs of quality. These physical changes signal that the food's original integrity has been lost, and with it, much of its benefit. There's also a broader pattern that's important to recognize. Many seniors who struggle with bloating, gas, or digestive irregularities don't trace those symptoms back to something as simple as a reheated meal. But digestion starts with the quality of the food and how it's treated after it's cooked. When your body is constantly processing degraded proteins, even in small amounts, the cumulative effects can lead to fatigue, inflammation, and increased susceptibility to illness. It's not about one bad meal. It's about the ongoing wear and tear from repeated exposure. That's why mushrooms, as healthy as they are, should be handled with special care. If you cook them, try to eat them the same day. If you must store leftovers, keep them refrigerated in a sealed glass container and reheat them gently on the stovetop, never in the microwave. Or better yet, enjoy them cold if the recipe allows. A chilled mushroom salad with olive oil and herbs can be just as satisfying and far safer for your digestion and long-term health. Ultimately, small choices add up. Avoiding the reheating of mushrooms may seem like a minor adjustment, but for your body, especially as it ages, it's one less burden to carry. And when you begin to recognize these subtle sources of strain in your daily routine, you give yourself the opportunity to feel lighter, clearer, and more energized. It's these quiet, thoughtful shifts that often make the biggest difference over time. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, I want to encourage you to take a moment to reflect on the 5 foods we've talked about today. What caught you off guard the most? Which food have you been reheating without realizing it might pose risks to your health? More importantly, how will this new knowledge shape the way you manage leftovers going forward? Our goal isn't to make you fearful of the foods you love. Instead, it's about equipping you with simple, practical tools to make informed choices that nurture your health in meaningful, lasting ways. The truth is, your body has been tirelessly working for you for decades, carrying you through life's ups and downs. It deserves thoughtful care, attention, and respect. Often, the most significant improvements come not from drastic changes, but from small, intentional adjustments, like deciding not to reheat that bowl of spinach, or pausing to consider how long those mashed potatoes have been stored in the fridge. These small steps can protect your well-being over time. We're so grateful you joined us today. Your health matters, and taking the time to learn about these risks shows how much you value it. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below sharing one key takeaway from this video and how you plan to apply it in your daily life. Your insights mean so much to us, and reading them inspires and motivates us to keep sharing valuable information. Whether it's a new habit you'll adopt or a food you'll handle differently, your story could encourage others to make healthier choices too. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and share it with friends or family who might benefit. Your support allows us to continue creating content designed to inform, empower, and inspire you. Thank you for watching and for being part of this journey toward better health. We're here to support you with practical, science-based advice that fits your life. Stay curious, stay mindful, and keep prioritizing your well-being. It's never too late to make a difference. We can't wait to connect with you again in our next video, where we'll explore more ways to help you live healthier and stronger every day. Until then, take care and keep making those small, powerful choices that honor the incredible body that's carried you this far.